postures. So we're mostly going to look at things that we can do to help us sleep well, to restore the body, to restore our vitality, to maintain our general health. And I have worn my comfiest yoga pants, which I just love practicing in, even if they're not the most flattering of trousers. Come, join me on the mat. Let us start with limbering to sit. So we're going to go through the body from the toes up to the hips and just make sure that the body's comfortable to do a seated practice first. So lean back on your hands if you want to, or you can prop yourself upright if you prefer to hold yourself upright. But leaning back is fine as well. And we're going to start with Mukta asanas, energy releasing postures for the toes. So breathing in as you spread the toes wide apart, and then breathing out as you scrunch the toes up. Breathing in, spreading the toes wide apart. Breathing out, scrunching. Breathing in, spreading. Breathing out, scrunching. Breathing in, spreading. Breathing out, scrunching. Keep going with your breath. Really focusing on your toes. Watch them. Notice how far apart you can make your toes become with a little effort, and how close together they become as you exhale. We'll do one more. And scrunching. Then the whole foot. Breathe in, take the whole foot back towards you, flexing through your heel. Breathing out, point the toes as far away from you as you can. Breathing in, drawing the whole foot back towards you, and then breathing out, pointing the whole foot away. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Continue with your breath. See if you can marry the breath and the movement together so that you really never stop moving or breathing. The breath is continuous. The movement's continuous. This is one of the gifts of the Mukta asana. It allows us to focus so much on coordinating our breath and movement together. It allows us to slow down. Notice the small things. We'll do one more. Breathing in, flexing. Breathing out, pointing. Very good. And then relaxing the legs a little bit. We're going to breathe in as we move the toes away from each other and point them down. And breathe out as we move the toes towards each other and bring the foot back to neutral. Breathing in. Breathing out. Circling at the ankle. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep moving with your breath. There's no real right or wrong way to coordinate your breath and movement. So if your breath and your movement are coming together in a different sequence, then that's fine. Just go with it. Try to keep your movement very much continuous. And allow your breath to fall in a continuous, almost circular pattern as well. We'll do one more in this direction. And then go the opposite way. Breathing in, toes towards each other and down. Breathing out, toes apart and up. Breathing in, together and down. Breathing out, apart and up. Keep moving with your breath. Explore the range of movement that you're ankles enjoy, together with your feet and toes. We'll do just one more in this direction. Bringing the feet back to the center. And if you've been leaning back on your hands, just coming off your hands and drawing your feet closer together. I'm going to ease the flesh of the buttocks back one at a time. And then bend in your right knee and rest your fingertips lightly on top. So if you are familiar with this, this is called a knee crank. And this is where we bend and stretch the leg like this. So if you're familiar with this and you know that you're feeling strong in your body, you can just rest your fingertips on top. We're going to kick for 20. And if you prefer, you can hold underneath the back of the thigh. I might turn slightly sideways for this. Underneath the back of the thigh, and that gives you a little bit more support in the front of the body so that you don't have to hold on quite so tight with your tummy muscles. Either way is good. It doesn't matter. Nobody can see, nobody's judging. So roll your shoulder blades down the back, lift up through the center of the body, firm the belly muscles, lift your right heel off the floor, flex both feet, hold either underneath or on top. We'll kick for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Lovely job. Hug the leg towards you. Hold around the back of your right thigh and just draw the thigh towards your torso and make big circles with your toes. And we're going to coordinate this with the breath as well. We don't normally, but you're going to breathe in as you come up and breathe out as you come down. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Let's go the opposite way as well. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Lovely job. Just let your right foot come down to the floor. Raise your right arm up into the air and bring your right elbow to the inside of your right knee. Then you're going to lift the right foot and hold underneath. So only your right side is really involved at this point. Firm the belly muscles. Draw the right knee up towards your shoulder if you're able to, holding on to your right foot. And it doesn't matter if you're here, and it doesn't matter if your knee's behind your body. The most important thing is that you're able to sit upright as you do this. And if you can, hold with both hands and just gently make a twisting motion, rocking across the body. So here there's no breath to coordinate with the movement. But what we're going to do is try to keep that same rhythm of breath as we gently rock here. And there's no, try to avoid stress and tension in the body. So you're doing a movement that feels comfortably within your range of movement here. Good. Just a little gentle rocking. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center, back to stillness. We're going to take the foot towards the forehead 3 times. Now, try to avoid drawing your forehead down towards your foot and rounding through your spine, collapsing in the spine. Keep upright. I'm going to lift the foot up and down. It might not go anywhere near your forehead, that's fine. Lifting up and down, and up and down. Very good. Draw the right foot over on top of the left thigh. And if that is really uncomfortable for you, just towards the inside of the left thigh will be fine too. If you can, get your ankle on top of your left thigh so that your right foot is free, and you can support it with your left hand. We're going to sit really tall and just ease the thigh, the right thigh, towards the floor. And it's a subtle movement in most people. It's just, if your knee is high like mine, because your hips are stiffer or you've got bony structures, then you might get just a little bit of movement here. And we're simply pressing and holding, maintaining that movement, that openness, breathing, and then releasing. You're going to hug your leg in towards you, making sure your knee is stacked on top of your ankle or in line with your ankle and your hip, and then just extending that leg away from you. Notice how the two sides feel differently. And then if you need to, you can ease the flesh back from the buttocks so that you're sitting nice and firmly tall again. We'll do the whole thing on the left side. So bending your left knee in towards you. Firm the center of your body, lift, flex both feet, holding either on top of the left knee with your fingertips or underneath the left thigh, and we'll kick for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Lovely. Hug that leg towards you. Wrap the left arm around the left thigh. Draw the left thigh towards you. And then we'll breathe in as we reach the left toes up towards the ceiling. And breathe out as we draw a circle down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. Good job, guys. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. We'll do one more in this direction. And then we'll go in the opposite direction. Breathing in and up with the left foot. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. One more, in and up. Breathing out and down. Placing the left foot down on the floor, lifting the left arm up, bringing the elbow to the inside of the left knee, lifting the left foot and holding underneath the left leg. And here we're trying to sit tall and draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. And this is obviously a preparation for some of those postures that take the legs behind the body, but we're not aiming for that because, you know, we just do the yoga that is easily available to us to enjoy the process. So sitting tall, hands on both feet, both hands on your foot, and gently rocking. It doesn't matter what your shape looks like as long as it feels comfortable. And when you're rocking, you don't feel any twinges or pinches. This posture is specifically designed to warm some of the deeper, soft tissue structures in the hips and pelvis. So we're, most of us, very familiar with the superficial structures, but the deeper ones, this accesses places other postures can't reach. Very good. So when you're ready, you can ease your left foot around towards your right thigh, resting the ankle on top if you can, letting the left foot be free. And if you prefer, or if it's just more accessible to you, then resting the left foot against the inside of the right thigh. Either of these is fine. We're going to hold if the foot is over the right thigh, hold it with the right hand, sit really tall, and then pressing with the left hand, just allow your thigh to be pressed towards the floor. And again, we don't want to feel any twinges, we don't want to feel any pinches or compressions. We just want that sense of holding open a space that is not normally open in the body. Taking a couple of deep breaths. And then gently relaxing. Oh, we forgot to do foot to forehead. I knew there was something. Okay, so we'll come back into this posture that we had for our cradling the baby. Sit really tall and then take your foot up towards your forehead and gently down. Sitting tall, foot up and down. And last one, foot up and down. Making sure that your knee is straight in line with the hip and the ankle again, and lengthen your leg away. Super stuff. So then we can bring our feet together in the center. And where you hold is up to you. So you can hold around the toes if that feels comfortable. And particularly if you're not going to pull too much in your ankle, if your ankles aren't very mobile, then holding around the toes can be quite good. Holding in the center of the foot or the ankles if you prefer. And wherever you are, just lifting yourself really tall, drawing the shoulder blades back and releasing down. And we're going to lightly bounce the knees. We're looking for a flutter, a little bit like the wings of a butterfly. So not a full movement, just a flutter. And then gently allowing the movement to release so that you're back to a steady position. We're going to breathe in, lift the chest, and as you breathe out, just folding gently forward, not too far, just a little. Maybe tucking the chin down slightly so that you lengthen through the back of the neck instead of lifting the chin and looking forward. And we'll hold for another deep breath in and deep breath out. Then we're going to come back to center. Ease the elbows into the thighs and just do a little rocking from side to side. Aces. Feel like a weeble. That's the idea. And as you do this, you might feel that you're massaging across the buttocks. And of course, in the buttocks, we've got 4 muscles, one on top of the other. So doing something like this is quite nice to release tension from the buttocks. So there's a lot of clunking going on at this end. I don't know about you guys. Okay, we're going to come back to the center. And then here, we're going to hold the same position, and we're going to try and press the elbows into the knees, or into the inner thighs rather, sorry, to ease the knees down. So we're going to try and a little bit of forward bending is fine with that. We can ease the knees towards the floor, ease open in the pelvis. And this, I need quite a lot of effort to do this, and you might too, that's okay. So just holding as you breathe, keeping the effort out of places like the neck and shoulders and the feet. And then gently releasing. We can do the same thing, or similar thing, by taking the hands behind us, leaning slightly back. So a little bit of openness between your chest and your knees, and then turning the soles of the feet upwards if that's available to you, and easing the knees down of their own accord. So you need to use your internal muscular action rather than some external force. And again, we're holding and breathing here. And gently releasing. Coming back up to center. And we're going to scoop the knees in one at a time, place the feet on the floor, and just hug yourself. So hug around your knees, settle those stretchy feelings in the pelvis. Give yourself a moment, maybe even tuck your chin towards your chest. Take a few deep breaths. Then when you're ready, you can find something to sit on. So you can sit on anything that you like. You could be kneeling or sitting cross-legged. I realize I'm without prop, so I'm just going to grab one. Please excuse me. So something to sit on. I quite like these foamy blocks. It's just enough lift to make me, to give my pelvis a bit of space. But you can use your bolster or a cushion or a rolled up blanket, anything that feels like it's going to give you some support. And starting with your legs wide-ish, if that works for you. If you're planning to kneel, then don't bother doing this bit. Just get yourself into a nice kneeling position. But if you're planning to sit cross-legged, starting with the legs wide is quite useful. Bending in just one leg at a time to wherever feels good for you. I like Siddhasana, this pose, and today I'm just going to use a little block underneath my top knee, which helps to support it because it's not down on the ground like the opposite knee. So here, quite a useful thing to do is actually to roll a blanket. So if your knees are very far off the floor, you can roll a blanket like this, and you can wrap it underneath both knees. I used to sit like this for meditation all of the time. So you're really, really supported here. There's no stress into the pelvis or into the knees to hold this position. But do something that feels good to you. The most important part of our posture is the spine. So as long as you're feeling that your spine is lifted and lengthened, then it's a great position. And you can sit in the chair that you've got handy if you have one handy as well. Okay, so focusing on that little bit of lift, we're going to do a little bit of stirring. So it doesn't matter if you're kneeling for this or sitting cross-legged or sitting in a chair, just stirring your upper body, making circles, imagining a pencil from the crown of your head, making circles on the ceiling. We'll go in one direction. And then in the opposite direction as well. And at the same time, keeping that lift in the center of the body. Maybe a touch of drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. And then when you're ready, coming back into the center. Here, we can do some of the 6 movements of the spine, which is a good thing to do. So we'll start with a side bend. If you take your left hand down to your left side, breathe in, taking the right hand up. Breathe out as you draw your shoulder blade down your back. Breathe in again here, and breathe out as you gently lengthen into your left side, lengthening your right side by moving to the left. Here we're going to do a gentle pulse, so releasing out a little and then back in, firm in the belly, releasing out and back in, out and in. We'll do one more, out and in, and hold. Take just a breath as you hold, and then see if you can do a little sort of opening, taking the right shoulder backwards, the left shoulder forwards, or the right side of the chest backwards, the left side of the chest forwards. And gently releasing, turn your right palm up towards the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale that arm down to your side. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Right hand down to the right. Firm in the belly. Breathe in the left hand up. Breathing out, gliding the shoulder blade down the back. Breathe in as you lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out as you gently fold into your right side, lengthening the left. Hold for just a deep breath to find where you are, and then gently begin to move in and out. Slightly out, slightly lengthening. Very good. We'll do one more like this, sort of waving motion, and then holding here just for a couple of breaths. And if you want to explore, you can try turning the left side of the chest more behind you and the right side of the chest more up towards the ceiling. A little sort of twist in the upper body as you hold. When you're ready, turning the left palm up to the ceiling, breathe in, pressing the left hand up. Let that draw you back to center. Breathe out, releasing the left hand down. Awesome. So now we've done our side bends. We're going to do a forward fold. Breathe in, reach the arms up. Breathe out, drop your shoulder blades down, firm your belly. Breathe in, reach your chest slightly back from the floor, and then breathe out as you fold forward. Now, it doesn't matter where you get to. You might just fold a little bit forward. You might be able to come quite a long way forward. Trying to keep our buttocks down. We're going to release the hands down to wherever is comfortable. And here, a real test of whether your forward bend is good and healthy in the back is if your elbows are bent, you can roll your shoulder blades down your back. You get more of a feeling of almost doing cobra pose with your upper body. Gives you that sense of a lengthening lift. So if you feel that you're curving your upper body forward and collapsing into the front, it's not so helpful here. So let's feel that openness of the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down, but we don't want to make that lift come into the chin. So keeping the back of the neck long, you can take your hand and feel that you've got a length in the back of the neck, that you're not collapsing there. And here we can do a little sway from side to side, only if that feels good to you. Scooping the belly in, and you might find that as you sway from side to side, you get that little bit of extra length, a little bit more availability to come lower down. And it doesn't matter if you don't. Wherever you get to, just holding and breathing. And if you feel that you're close to the floor, almost there, then you can maybe try to lengthen your arms away from you and fold more in the upper body to bring yourself a little bit deeper down. If that feels like you're collapsing in the chest or you're compressing, then avoid that. Hold a little bit higher up. When you're ready, just engaging the belly muscles again if they're not still engaged, walking the hands back towards your body as you press yourself back into a more upright position. Aces. And we'll just take a deep breath here, reaching the arms out and up, bringing the hands together and breathing out as you draw the hands down to the center of the chest. Feeling the lift in the chest. We're going to take the right hand to the left knee or thigh. And then breathe in, lift the left hand up. And as you breathe out, twisting to the left, placing the left hand down behind you. And just doing a gentle opening twist to the left side. So we don't want to force anything. We're not using your arms to crank your body round, Just getting to wherever is a natural twist for you at this early stage of practice, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, lifting in the belly, and you don't even have to turn your head particularly far if you don't want to. One more breath in and out. Turn to the front with just your head. Release your hands, unwind your spine, turning a little bit to the opposite side and back to the center, like a release, like a bounce release. Aces. In the center, we'll do one of our deep breaths. So reaching the arms out, breathing in, reaching up, maybe even looking up. And as you breathe out, drawing the hands down to the center of the chest, feeling that lift in the center of the body, taking the left hand to the top of the right thigh or knee, breathing in as you reach the right hand up, and as you breathe out, just twisting a little to the right, taking your right hand down behind you, and again, not cranking yourself into this twist, but easing yourself to a point where it feels like a good twist for you. Rolling the shoulder blades together, a little lift in the belly here. Try not to lean back on your hand behind you. When you're ready, turning your head to the center, releasing your hands, unwinding the spine, turning a little to the opposite side, and back to center again. Fabulous stuff. We'll do one of our deep breaths. Breathe in, reach the arms out and up, lifting up. And as you breathe out, draw the hands down to the center of the chest. We're going to now reach the arms wide behind us. So reaching out and then back. Try to reach the floor behind you. Lean slightly back onto your hands. Bend your elbows, but don't let them come out to the side. Keep them behind you if you can. Open the chest. Lean back as much as you feel comfortable doing. And if you want to, you can look up, but try not to collapse your head backwards. If you prefer, you can keep your head forwards. It's no problem. Firm in the belly. Feel that opening across the chest. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then just gently pressing off your hands, drawing your chin back to your chest, drawing your body upright again, releasing the arms down to the sides. Awesome sauce. Well done, guys. So we're going to release the legs. So if you've been kneeling, releasing your legs as well. If you've been sitting, just stretching your legs out again. If you've been sitting cross-legged, sorry, stretching your legs out again. We're going to give the knees a little bit of a bounce and the feet a little bit of a wave. And we do have to do all of that on the opposite side as well for balance. So it's useful to know which way round your legs were. So if you don't remember and you've been sitting cross-legged, just remember which foot was in front. And then you can do it the other way around as well. But first we're going to do some more mobilizing practice, a little bit of mobilizing practice first. So you can take your blocks out to one side, your supports, and come onto your hands and knees. So here, excuse me while I footer with my tops and whatnot. Here we're going to have the hands maybe slightly ahead of the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And feel that firmness in your belly to begin with. Spread out your fingers. Think about where in your hands your effort is. So we want the effort to be evenly distributed across the hand, but for the vast majority of the effort comes into this part of the hand here at the bottom of the palm of the hand, the heel of the hand, because that's where the main bone that connects to the elbow and then up into the shoulder goes. So we want most of our effort to be here, but also into each fingertip, into the base of each finger where it joins the spine, the hand, not the spine, and a little bit of effort rolled into this inner corner between the first finger and the thumb, just a little, so that we get a sense of lightness on the hand because our weight is distributed across it evenly. Knees underneath the hips or slightly behind is fine, but not closer. Here, draw your belly muscles inwards and upwards and slide your shoulders down your back. And then slide your shoulder blades up your back. Glide the shoulder blades down the back. Feel that space opening at the base of the neck. Glide the shoulder blades up the back. Gliding the shoulder blades down the back, and you're going to hold them there. Lift your pelvic floor, and as you inhale, look forward, opening the chest. Shoulder blades are down already. As you exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, and feel the shoulder blades maybe widening. Breathing in as you look forward, shoulder blades gliding down, lifting the chest, lifting the belly, lifting the tailbone. Breathing out as you roll under, chin towards chest, squeezing perhaps in the buttocks here. Breathing in forward, opening. Breathing out, rounding, lengthening. Breathing in forward. Breathing out, rounding. Coming back just to a neutral hands and knees position. We're going to do a little side cat. So as you breathe in, lengthen your tailbone to your left, look to your left. As you breathe out, lengthen your tailbone to your right, look to your right. Breathing in to one side, breathing out to the other. Breathing in to one side, breathing out to the other. We'll come back to neutral, and we're going to make little circles. So it doesn't matter where your circles happen. It could be that you just feel a wriggle. A wriggle is fine. A wriggle through the spine so that you're moving in a much more free, easy, mobile way. And if you can, reverse your movement if it has a pattern to it. And then coming back to neutral, you're going to pad your hands back towards you and come up into a kneeling upright position. Takes the weight off the wrists, so you can roll your wrists, just easing through them, releasing tension. I find that cat pose, the tabletop position, is the hardest position for my wrists personally. Crow pose, not a problem. Tabletop position, for some reason, very much so. Who knows why? Okay, so here we're going to tuck the toes under so that our heels are up and sort of stretch out the bottom of the feet. So you might feel that with your toes tucked under and upright here already feels like a stretchy position for your feet, and that's okay. And if that's the case, you can stick with it. And if you want to add a little bit more, just releasing your buttocks down onto your heels. And here we're looking for a little stretch of the sole of the foot, okay? So it might not be comfortable for very long, and if it isn't, you can come up in between. I like to get my toes really tucked under, and then perhaps releasing your hips down to your heels again. If you're comfortable in this position, just hold as you breathe. And we're going to hold it for about a minute, which sounds like a long time. So if it isn't comfortable, don't hold it in a place of pain. Just ease gently out and then ease back in again whenever you're ready. Okay? And if you've just had enough, that's okay too. And if this is the first time you've done this, maybe that will be the case. Not to worry. So this is a little bit of yin yoga, specifically designed to ease tension out of the fascial trains that finish on the soles of the feet and the bottom of the toes. We've only got another 10 seconds left. See if you can ease tension from the rest of your body. Sometimes you can trick it into feeling more comfortable. Okay, everybody can release out now. We're going to tuck the toes flat. Oh, that feels nice, yes? And then come into child's pose. So taking your forehead to the floor, just easing yourself over your thighs. Now, if you are quite far away from the floor here, you can do various things. So you can build a little support out of your fists for your head. It's important to rest the head on something in this posture. So it doesn't matter so much if the hips are away from the heels, but it's important to rest the head on something. And if you've got a bolster, you can practice child's pose over your bolster instead. If you don't like having your hands down towards your heels, you might reach your hands out in front of you, particularly if that makes you have the experience of a little bit more space in the posture. Do the variation that feels the best for you. Soften the features of the forehead. Relax the tongue and the jaw. Whichever position your arms are in, allow your shoulders to soften. And take some deep breaths. After your next exhalation, reaching your hands forward if they aren't already, spreading the fingers, and gently coming back up onto your hands and knees. Here, you're going to firm the belly again. Imagine you're pressing the mat away from you, gliding the shoulder blades down the back, and lengthening your left foot back behind you. It doesn't matter which foot you've done. So we're gently going to press into the heel and release away. Press into your heel and release. One more time like this and release. Coming back to neutral, really firm in the belly, lifting the foot a little off the floor and just rotating the ankle a couple of times in this direction and a couple of times in the opposite direction as well. Then you can glide that knee back underneath your hip. Make sure in your neutral position that you're centered, and then slide your right foot back. Press into your heel and release away. Just lengthening, even pressing through the hands, lengthening the weight into the heel and release. One more time. And release. Firm in the belly, lift your right foot a little bit up and rotate your foot at your ankle. A few times in this direction and reversing the motion. A few times in the opposite direction. We're going to slide that foot back down to the floor and slide the knee underneath the hip and pad our hands back until we're into kneeling again. So this kneeling is stretching the foot in the opposite way. So if you feel uncomfortable with the foot stretched this way, it might be enough to be upright in your kneeling position. But if you're comfortable with your foot on the floor, then you can bring your hips down and rest the buttocks onto the heels. Just check your knees are not feeling too stretchy there. So if you feel any discomfort in the knees, a useful thing to do is to roll a blanket quite tightly and place it behind the knees themselves. So as tight in as you can to give yourself a little bit of space. And that also keeps the alignment of particularly the femur bone, the thigh bone, as it comes into the knee in the right place. It keeps it pushed a little bit forward. So if that feels a bit more comfortable to you, then that can be a useful modification. So choosing a position that feels okay. If you're up, you're going to work towards feeling comfortable with your hips a bit lower down. So using some support like the blanket or a block underneath the hips to bring yourself a little bit more into this pose to stretch out the top of the foot and ankle. If you're comfortable here, you can try leaning back on your hands slightly. And this opens up those spaces a little bit more. And it begins to open up here in the front of the thighs as well. And if you're comfortable here, then you might want to gently lift the knees a little off the floor. It doesn't need to be much, just easing into that, that position. So again, we're going to hold for a minute. We've probably done about 15 seconds already, so another 45. Holding whichever position feels most comfortable for you, and breathing. Trying to release the effort in your face if you can, the effort in the rest of your body, so you're holding as easy as possible, looking effortless, relaxed. Yoga is really only yoga if it looks effortless. And then after your next exhalation, just easing yourself out of the posture, whichever posture you've done, coming back onto your hands and knees. And we're just going to lift the feet off the floor and give them a little bit of a flap. And then come into a nice, soft, gentle down dog. So knees very bent, pressing the chest back towards the thighs, keeping the hips high. And then coming into your down dog as much as feels comfortable. So you might want to keep the knees very bent. You might want to ease through the backs of the legs, easing one heel to the floor and then the other. You might prefer to keep your knees very bent and just wiggle your hips from side to side, turning your head from side to side. Whichever of these variations feels best to you. Maybe a combination of all three. And if you feel able to, you might want to give your heels towards the floor, holding down dog a little bit of a go as well. Depends how your body feels, how open it feels. Sometimes you will surprise yourself after practicing Palmukta asanas, how much space you create with those postures. And then gently bringing your knees down to the floor. And we're going to bring ourselves back into our seated position to do our 6 motions of the spine on the opposite side. So if you did it kneeling the first time, that's fine, stick with kneeling. But otherwise, grabbing your supports, whatever they may be. Starting with your feet wide, being sure to bend in the opposite foot first and hold your posture the opposite way around. If you need a little support under your knees, you can. I think I'm going to go for this one this time. So on your awkward side or your less natural side, it can be best to give yourself a little bit more support. You can even choose a different cross-legged posture. So you don't need to choose the exact same one on both sides. You might feel very comfortable in Siddhasana on one side and much more comfortable in just a standard cross-leg Sukhasana on the opposite side. Doesn't matter. Okay, so here in the middle, let us start with just one of our sweeping deep breaths. So arms out to the side, breathing in, reaching up, feel that lift through the center of the body, looking up, and breathing out, draw the hands down to the center of the chest. We'll do one more like that. Breathing in and up and opening. Breathing out, releasing the hands down. Very good. This time we're going to breathe in and up, open the palms wide, and then fold forward. Folding forward as we exhale, just to wherever feels good for you. So scooping the belly in here and gently dropping the hands down, making sure that the elbows are nice and soft so you can glide the shoulder blades down the back. Feel that almost drawing and lifting of the chest forwards. And you might want to gently negotiate for a little space here by easing yourself from side to side. And if that helps to bring you a little bit lower, but keeping the chest open, the shoulder blades glided down, lengthening through the back of the neck as well. I'm going to take a deep breath in here. And then if you want to, and you're close, you might want to fold a little bit deeper down. But don't do that at the expense of collapsing too much in the upper body. And on your awkward side, you might find that you don't have as much space in your forward bend as you do on the opposite side. And that's okay. We don't need to make ourselves exactly the same on both sides. Taking a moment to hold your posture, feel your stretch, soften your face, firm your center. And then after your next exhalation, you can pat your hands back towards you, bringing yourself more into an upright position. And here in the center, we'll stir ourselves again. So making nice rotations with just the upper body. So a little firmness here. Feeling almost like a weeble. Like you're painting the ceiling with a circle. If you had a paintbrush on top of your head. Let's go in the opposite direction as well. Lovely. And then we'll bring ourselves back to center. We're going to go to the right with our side bend first this time. So taking your right hand to your right side, breathing in, reaching the left hand up, breathing out as you drop your left shoulder down, firm in your center as you breathe in here. And as you breathe out, reaching your left hand across to the right, feeling that stretch down the left side of the body. We're gently going to wave ourselves up and over. A little bit out of the stretch and a little bit deeper in. We'll do 2 more like this. And then holding wherever you get to, really concentrating on a little lift in the front of the body. You might want to roll your left shoulder backwards, your right chest forwards. And then turning your left palm up to the ceiling, breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Wonderful stuff. Let's take a deep breath in with both arms stretching out and up. Breathing out as we draw the palms down to the center of the chest. Very good. We'll take the left hand down to the left side, reach the right hand up, breathing in here. And then as you breathe out, just allow your right shoulder blade to glide down. Breathing in as you firm and lift in the middle of the body, and breathing out as you gently reach the right hand over to the left side. Allow your body to wave as you come up a little out of the side bend and in. Out and in. Lovely. You can coordinate with your breath if you want to. You can just experience the flow of the body if you prefer. Here, holding, firming in the center of the body and just seeing if that gentle rotation will come to the chest, opening up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, turning the right palm up, breathing in as you press the right hand up and breathing out as you release the hand down. Deep breath. Take the arms out and up as you breathe in, looking up, reaching up, breathing out, bringing the hands down to the center of the chest. One more time. Breathing out and up, lifting, breathing out and down, breathing in and up, lifting. Oh, you know what I mean. Good job. Okay. So from here, we're just going to take the hands behind the body and roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Create a little lift as we lean back away from the legs and breathe deeply. If you want to, you can lean a little bit further back and maybe lift the head a little bit more. But do what feels right to you. Try to avoid any feelings of compression in the back of the neck. And after your next exhalation, looking forward again and drawing yourself back to center. Here we're going to breathe in as we sit tall. Breathe out as you take the left hand to the right thigh. Breathe in, lifting the right hand up, turning towards the right, and breathing out as you lengthen that hand down behind you. Use that hand to prop you forward. Because this is no longer our first twist of the day, you can use a little bit of your effort here if you like. So breathing in as you lift the belly and sit tall, and breathing out as you use the arms to gently ease yourself into a twist, just to the point where you feel that it's a useful movement. So you don't want to force anything, but perhaps you can feel that point of resistance in the body, and you can meet it and hold there. And as you soften the features of your face, relax your shoulders down, perhaps you also notice a softening of that resistance. Take one more deep breath. Then turning to the front with only your head, releasing the hands, unwinding the spine, turning a little to the opposite side and back to the center. Let's do a deep breath here. So arms either side, breathing in, reaching the arms up, looking up, breathing out, drawing the palms down to the center of the chest. We'll do one more like that. Breathing in, sweeping the arms out and up, looking up, breathing out, drawing the palms down to the center of the chest. Here, taking the right hand to the left thighs, breathing in, reach the left hand up, turn to the left, and place the left hand down as you exhale. Use that hand to prop you forward. Lift in the center of the body as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, using your hands to gently ease you into a spinal twist. Here, softening the features of the face, avoiding having your shoulders up, relaxing the shoulders down. Find a long, deep breath. After your next exhalation, turn to the front with your head, release your hands, unwind your spine, turn a little to the opposite side, and back to the center. We'll finish with one more deep breath, arms either side, breathing in and up, breathing out and drawing the hands down. Very good. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our hands and knees from here. So ease yourself out of your cross-legged or kneeling position. And off your support, you can bounce your knees a little bit, wave your feet a little bit, do whatever feels good. Okay, so we're going to come into hands and knees and then come up into downward facing dog. Again, a gentle dog. So placing the hands underneath or slightly in front of the shoulders, tucking the toes under, lifting the knees only off the mat, and with firm belly, pressing the chest back towards the thighs. And then gently here, undulating a little bit. So finding your way to a point where you feel you can uncurl your legs, keeping your tailbone up to the ceiling, maybe ease through the backs of the legs with a few paddles of your dog.
And this I find very nice for my knees after I've been sitting cross-legged. Maybe also you can do a little bit of turning of the head, freeing up that space in the back of the neck. And you might also like to bend the knees and just wave your tailbone from side to side. Although hopefully the sides of your body feel great after our side stretches. Okay. So from here, we're going to bring the feet quite close together. And we're going to lift the right leg up. And it can go up to wherever is comfortable for you. We don't want to turn in the hips. We want to create a little sense of strengthening in the back of the body. So as you lift your right leg up, feel the right buttock, the back of the right thigh, the low back on the right side of the body. Feel all of that engage and your belly muscles too. And as you breathe out, draw your right knee into your chest, draw your shoulders over your hands, and bring your knee to the floor in front of your chest here. So we're coming into pigeon pose. We're going to slide the left leg back and see if we can drop the hips towards the floor, the sort of center of the pelvis. And here we can use the hands on the floor for support. Because we're doing more restorative and releasing practice, we're not going to hold really upright with our bodies. We're going to use the hands to do that. So we're trying to find a way to get our hips as close to the floor as feels comfortable. If at this point you need the support of your bolster or a block underneath your right buttock, then that's okay. And then we're going to find our way down to a position that is comfortable for us to hold. So here, if you want the support of a bolster, you can put it alongside your right leg and you can soften yourself over. And particularly if you're a little bit higher away from the floor, that can be useful. If you prefer, you can come down onto your forearms and you can use a block underneath your head just to rest your head on. And if you're quite comfortable, you may soften all the way to the floor, just releasing the head to the floor. Finding some sense of relax in the shoulders as well. The further away from you your hands are, the more challenging this posture is. So if you want your hands further back towards you, you give yourself a little bit of support. That's no problem at all. Try to ease the front of the left hip towards the floor, just a touch, so you're not falling into the right buttock. At the same time, if you feel this in your right knee, then falling into your right buttock is the right thing to do. So if you ease your right buttock towards the floor, then it'll take the pressure off your knee, your right knee. So holding wherever is comfortable, taking a few deep breaths, softening the features of your face, softening that space between the shoulder blades. Feel the length down the outside of the right hip. Maybe you feel it in the buttock more. Some people feel it in the left pelvis more. A couple of more long, deep breaths. And then after your next exhalation, just bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders for a bit of support. We're going to tuck the back toes. And we're going to lift in the belly muscles, lift the hips up and uncurl the right leg so it's lengthened up towards the ceiling or back behind you, and rotate your right foot a couple of times in each direction, rotating at the ankle. You can even rotate the whole leg if you want to, doing a little bit of releasing action, and then bringing your right foot down and paddling your dog again a few times. If you need to, you can do a gentle twist of the head from side to side as well. Then when you're ready, you can bring your feet back together again, firming in the belly, lifting your left leg up and finding yourself strong in the hands, pressing the chest towards the thighs, lifting in the back of the left side of the body. So the left buttock, left hamstrings, left quadratus lumborum, that space at the bottom of the spine, all working very strongly. And then when you're ready, you can bring your left knee forward, just placing the left knee and outside edge of the leg down at the front of the mat for pigeon pose on your left side. And again, here we're not looking for holding without the hands on the floor. We're going to keep the hands down. We're going to ease the hips towards the floor, lengthening the right leg back behind you will ease the front of the right hip towards the floor. And if you want to, you can support the left buttock with a block underneath, or a bolster if you prefer. Rolled up blanket is fine too. And then you can bring yourself forward into a position that works for you. So you might again want to use your bolster here to give yourself a little bit of support. And that means that you don't have that sense of closing so much in the front body, but you can relax a lot more because you're not using any effort to hold yourself up. And if you prefer, you can come down onto your forearms, or you can support the head with a block. I've got it underneath my buttock now, so I can't use that one, but I could use my hands, or forehead to the floor. And here you can either try to bring the front of the right side of the pelvis towards the floor, or if you feel any torsion, any twisting in your left knee, you can release your left buttock to the floor. It's important to do the version of the posture that suits your anatomy the best to avoid injury. When you've adopted the posture that suits you best, softening the features of your face and your tongue and your jaw and the space between the shoulder blades, and really experiencing the lengthening that's happening on the left hip and buttock. After your next exhalation, just bringing yourself back up onto your hands, padding yourself up, removing any bits and pieces that you've got to support, tucking your right toes under and uncurling yourself, lengthening the left leg behind you, rotating the left foot at the ankle a few times in your three-legged dog before dropping that foot down, stepping your feet to wherever feels comfortable and just lengthening out by paddling in your dog, turning your head from side to side, maybe just making sure that your fingertips are having a good contact with the mat as well. And then gently bringing yourself down to hands and knees. And we're going to progress from here into legs up the wall. So if you're using a chair, then you can use a chair. And if you're going to use the wall, then use the wall. Sorry, that's really straightforward instructions, isn't it? You might want a blanket close by. We can move from here into relaxation. And the other thing that you might want is a bolster if you're used to using a bolster for legs up the wall. So finding your space. I'm going to come to this little bit of wall here. And swinging your legs up and your torso down. So if you're using a chair, it's exactly the same process. You just have the chair seat supporting your calf, lower legs, your calves and your feet. And as long as you feel like you've got that sense of getting the knees over the hips, then that is ideal. We really want the torso, the upper body, to relax here. So it might be that for you, you have the arms nice and wide from the body with the palms turned upwards. And it might be that you feel quite comfortable with the arms relaxed over the head, either wide or closer together, it doesn't matter. The important thing with your hand placement is that your wrists, the back of your hand, your elbows, and your shoulders are all in contact with the floor. So if they aren't, then adjusting your position so they can be. If you really can't find a comfortable position with your arms and you just prefer it, you can bend the arms at the elbows and rest the hands onto your abdomen. And that, for some people, really is the most comforting of postures. Wherever you are, allowing your body to settle into this new position, this new orientation. Taking a few deep breaths, relaxing your face. We've spent most of the class with the upper body away from the floor. So now surrendering the weight of the head, the arms, shoulders, the whole of the back of the torso, and the pelvis. Surrendering this weight down. If you are familiar with using a bolster in this legs up the wall position, this can be done either with the legs on a chair or with the feet up the wall. And you can put your bolster in place, but please, please be careful. So here we're going to try to extend our exhalation a little bit. So as you breathe, becoming aware of the general length of your breath, maybe deepening it slightly, and being vigilant as you do, just to make sure you don't create tension in your chest or in your face or in your breath. And if you feel that your breath in and breath out are fairly even, you can begin to extend your exhalation, just a little at a time. You might do this by counting the length of your breath in and adding one count to your exhalation. Some people like to use a phrase. You might breathe in light and energy and breathe out peace and love and harmony. If it feels really comfortable in this new rhythm, you might like to add another count to further extend your exhalation. Easing tension from your face, your chest. Keeping the rest of the body very relaxed. And if you're able to, without creating tension in the body, you might like to extend your exhalation so that it is double the length of your inhalation, but not more than that. If that just isn't comfortable, then retreat back to one of the more comfortable breaths. The key to this is to just slow down as you exhale. If you're happy to remain in this position for your relaxation, you can do so and simply maintain this breath for as long as your awareness remains on your breath. If you prefer, you can move into a more comfortable position for relaxation, doing so quietly, moving as gently as you can. And easing yourself into Shavasana. Finding again your extended exhalation breath. Having a final check of the tension in your face and your eyes and your jaw. Releasing that tension where you find it. Softening your body a little further down. Relaxing a little deeper with every extended exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring a little movement back into your hands and your feet, wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe rotating your wrists and your ankles. If you're still in a legs up the wall position, then bending the knees into your chest, maybe easing yourself slightly away from your support to do that. And if you're on the floor, stretching, yawning, you can yawn in any position, of course, as you need to, and then bending your knees into your chest. Make any movements that feel good with your spine, rocking your head, gently rolling from side to side, gently easing the knees in and out or around. And when you feel ready, you can gently roll to one side and spend a moment curled up like a little baby. When you're ready, keeping your eyes gently closed, come into any comfortable seated position. We're going to finish by bringing the palms together, rubbing the hands vigorously, pressing the hands firmly, rubbing them hard, getting heat into the hands, movement into the arms. When the hands begin to feel warm, placing the hands over the eyes. Oops, I forgot I have my glasses on today. And feeling that warmth, soften and release the area around the eyes, blinking into your palms a few times, releasing your hands down when you're ready to open your eyes. Namaste, guys. Thank you for joining this practice.